When did you dethrone the king of your school? When I went to the bathroom, every stall door looked like someone printed a whole secret diary on the walls. Each stall even had a title at the top. One said, "Why Coach Nelson drives to Atlanta at midnight." Another said, "Mrs. Wilton went to Yale? Nah, she went to jail." Even Mr. Reyes, our chill English teacher who brought donuts on Fridays, had a full section called "What He Does Behind His Husband's Back." I thought it was a prank until I read a few lines. These weren't rumors. Whoever wrote this stuff knew dates, streets, restaurant names, and even which teacher had a new family in another state. By second period, the whole school knew. People lined up outside the boys' bathroom. Girls kept asking what it said. One sophomore tried to charge people to go in and look. Kids walked out shocked or confused or excited. Nobody acted normal. That was when our principal, Mr. Harlan, snapped. Third period, his voice came over the loudspeaker. It sounded tight, like he was holding his breath. "This is a severe violation of staff privacy. The boys' restroom will be closed until further notice." By lunch, he had put yellow chains across the doors. Custodians rolled in paint buckets. Teachers whispered about the writing like it was radioactive. Then after school, he called an emergency assembly. The whole gym felt tense. Harlan walked back and forth on the floor like he was building up power. "Someone wrote lies about faculty on school property," he said. "To stop this, we will install cameras near the restrooms and inside them." The gym went silent. People looked at each other. Even the teachers on the bleachers shifted like they wanted to leave. Cameras in the bathrooms. Everyone knew something felt wrong, freaky even. The next morning, the installers arrived. Two guys in uniforms stood outside the boys' bathroom with a ladder and drills. They put small white domes above each stall. Not one went in the girls' bathroom, only ours. Kids crowded around in the hall and watched like it was a crime scene. What bothered me was the wiring. The hall cameras always ran into the little security room by the office. These new wires did not. I followed the cable with my eyes as it stretched down the hall and into a small side room with a gold plate on the door. Principal Harlan. He stood in the hallway the whole time pretending to be helpful. He smiled and nodded and said things like, "Safety first." He never looked at the girls' bathroom. He kept glancing at the installers like he wanted them to move faster. That was when something clicked. Those cameras were not for rules or safety. They were for him. All day, the installers moved floor to floor. Same cameras and same wires, same office. Kids joked about holding their pee until graduation. Some said they would pee in bottles. Some said they would never use a school bathroom again. I could not shake the sick feeling that Harlan would sit alone in that little room with a screen full of bathroom stalls. After the final bell, I pretended I left my binder in science and waited for the halls to empty. When the custodians started mopping and the teachers headed home, I walked to Harlan's office. His light was off. The hallway was empty. The door to the main office was locked, but the little closet next to it was cracked open. Inside was a metal rack with blinking lights and a black router with a bunch of thick cables snapped in like veins. One cable split off into a silver laptop sitting on a shelf. The screen showed live feeds of the boys' stalls, 5 angles in each bathroom. No students were inside. Thankfully, everyone was smart enough not to use the bathroom, but seeing the empty stalls made my skin crawl. I knew I had two choices: walk away or stop it. My hands shook as I grabbed the biggest cable and pulled hard. The whole strip ripped out. The screens on the laptop went blue. The router lights died. The closet went silent. Then a voice behind me said, "What do you think you were doing?" It was Harlan. He stood in the doorway with his tie loose like he had run back inside. His face was bright red and his eyes looked wild, but he also looked scared. Not of me, of getting caught. "You can't put cameras in the bathroom," I said. My voice came out steady. "The feeds go to your laptop, not security." His mouth twitched. He took a slow step toward me. "What if I let you have a peek too?" I held up my phone, which was already recording. "Want to say that a little louder to the mic, did he?" He actually peed his pants. He knew he was going to jail. I walked straight past him and out to the hallway. I went right to Vice Principal Garcia. She actually listened when kids talked. I showed her the video and the cables and the blue screens. Her eyes went cold. She called the district office. Then she called the police. The next week, all the cameras were gone. The stalls were repainted. Teachers acted like nothing happened, but the whole school walked around with a strange quiet.